Hello, this is lesson 1-7, ordering numbers. You know how to compare two numbers. We looked at the picture of Mr. Alligator. Mr. Alligator is hungry for lunch. Find the biggest number and munch, munch, munch. We looked at numbers like 7,121, and we compared it to numbers like 7,002, and we used the greater than sign to show that 7,121 is greater than 7,002. So we already know that. Today you will compare three 4-digit numbers and write them in order from greatest to least. And actually we write them in order from least to greatest too. That's something to be careful of and read carefully for questions. So like this number, 7,121 is greater than 7,002, which is greater than 7,000. So in class today I needed 5 volunteers. We had 5 kids come up front, and then we talked about how we could put these students in order. We talked about putting them in alphabetical order. We talked about putting them in order by height. We talked about putting them in order by age. Then what we did was we looked at the back of our morning math and we talked about ordering numbers, putting numbers in order according to size, the greatest to the smallest to the greatest. The recording sheet shows the heights of some of the world's largest waterfalls. Write the numbers in the table. I'll try to get this paper home today in the Thursday folder. Looks just like what you're seeing on the screen, and it's going to be on the back of this morning's morning math. So you might get that today, and if not, you'll get it in next Thursday's folder. Once we had written the numbers in the table, it looked like this. Numbers in the thousands column, hundreds column, tens column, ones column. And then we asked ourselves, how do you know which height is greatest? We look first at the thousands place to think about which height is greatest. Which one has the least number of thousands? Well, the number in the middle has the least number of thousands. It has 2 in the thousands place. So we can add that to our sheet. At the bottom there I've written in 2,425 and I crossed it out because now we know which one's the least. Then you have to ask yourself, how can you tell whether 3,110 or 3,212 is less? How can you tell? You can tell by looking at the hundreds place. So now my highlighting has changed to show the hundreds place. Compare the hundreds digit in the top number to the hundreds digit in the bottom number. 1 is less than 2, so 3,110 is less than 3,212. We don't even need to bother to look at the tens or the ones place because we already know which one's less and which one's greater. At the bottom there now I have filled in the 3 numbers from least to greatest. Now the students needed to write the numbers from greatest to least. To do that they just switched the order. So now it's been written in 3,212 is greater than 3,110, which is greater than 2,425. We tried it again with these numbers. And if you want to pause the video and try to order those numbers from greatest to least and from least to greatest, do it on your own. Here's the answer to that, ordered from greatest to least and ordered from least to greatest. And then we evaluated some reasoning. We critiqued some reasoning in class today. This boy says, I notice that the middle number stays the same when you order numbers from least to greatest or greatest to least. Thumbs up if you think this is always true. Thumbs down if you disagree. Again, a lot of students in my class were tricked by this. The boy is saying, and I'll turn back a couple slides so I can explain it. The boy is saying that that middle number, pointing to it here, always stays the same no matter if you're ordering them from greatest to least or if you're ordering them from least to greatest. See how it's the same middle number both times? Let's check the other problem we did as a class. Here, ordering from greatest to least, the middle number is 3,110. Here, ordering from least to greatest, the number is also 3,110. So it seems like what he's saying might be true. It might be that it's always true. Correct answer, though, is disagree. If you have an even number of numbers that you're comparing, you're not going to have the same number in the middle. The number in the middle only stays the same if it's an odd number of numbers that you're comparing. If you're comparing 3 numbers like we did here, or 5 or 7, then you would have one number that stays the same in both lists. If you were comparing an even amount of numbers, then you would not have a middle number that stays the same. We practiced with a few more numbers, so here's a chance for you to practice. You can pause the video as you need to. Order these numbers from greatest to least. Here are the numbers ordered from greatest to least. Order these numbers from greatest to least. Here are those numbers ordered from greatest to least. Now notice I've changed it, order from least to greatest. Here are those numbers ordered from least to greatest. And that was our lesson today.